everybody's opinion. And I don't never think me and Canelo will fight. He's, 168, 175, I'm just 147, so I'll never see that fight ever really happen.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, what you just heard was Terence Crawford, undefeated, 3-division world champion, former junior welterweight, undisputed world champion, currently the WBO welterweight world champion, who is widely considered by many to be the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, in Terence Bud Crawford. He was asked about the possibility of facing now unified WBC, WBO, WBA, Ring Magazine, super middleweight, 4-division world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, Saul Canelo Alvarez. Terence Crawford, we heard Carl Froch, former British super middleweight, multi-time world champion, superstar boxer, Carl Froch, Carl the Cobra Froch, he stated that it's going to take Terence Crawford to be able to beat Canelo Alvarez. It's going to take the skill set of Terence Crawford to be able to offset that of Canelo Alvarez. He stated that Terence Crawford is very versatile, in which he is. Terence Crawford is able to switch from orthodox to southpaw fluidly. He's transitions from offense to defense fluidly. So with that said, Carl Froch, he stated that Terence Crawford, if he came up in weight, he would be the guy to beat Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez, he just recently beat 2-division undefeated world champion, British superstar, WBO super middleweight reigning world champion in Billy Joe Saunders via 8th round stoppage victory. And prior to that, he defeated then undefeated WBA super middleweight British superstar boxer, world champion, Callum Smith. So, Carl Froch, he's watching Canelo Alvarez, dominate these guys, and he says it's going to take a guy with versatility. It's going to take a guy that can mimic somewhat of the skill set that legendary retired Hall of Famer, former pound-for-pound king, former 5-division world champion, former pay-per-view king, Floyd Money Mayweather, who beat Canelo Alvarez every single round. And he did so by beating Canelo Alvarez right in the pocket and making a miss with his skill set, his quick reflexes, his athletic ability, and when he needed to, he utilized his legs to make Canelo Alvarez reset, and Canelo Alvarez had trouble with that. We also saw, and Floyd Mayweather is 5'8" with a 72-inch arm reach, okay? We also saw Cuban superstar, former world champion in Erislandy Lara, who is a southpaw like Terence Crawford, but he stays in the southpaw stance. But Lara utilized the ring, very athletic, very good reflexes, very quick hands, has fleet feet, can make Canelo Alvarez reset. And most people arguably thought that Erislandy Lara won the fight. Canelo Alvarez got the nod, but most people in the boxing world, they thought Erislandy Lara won the fight. With that said, Erislandy Lara has some comparisons to Terence Crawford at 5'9" with a 75-inch arm reach. Terence Crawford is 5'8" with a 74-inch arm reach. So you can understand the style that Carl Froch is saying that he sees in Terence Crawford that can offset Canelo Alvarez, okay? But Terence Crawford, he says that he doesn't see himself going up in weight. He may eventually go up to 154. There was talk that he could possibly go up and challenge 2-time junior middleweight world champion, who currently is the unified WBA, WBC, IBF, Ring Magazine world champion, superstar boxer, Jamel Lyons Only Charlo. He's going in an undisputed match with now WBO junior middleweight world champion Brian Costano. That's set to take place July 17th. With that said, there was talks that he could possibly go up and challenge Jamel Charlo. Well, my thoughts is this. If Terence Crawford goes up to junior middleweight, 154, and he challenges Jamel Charlo, well, Jamel Charlo is bigger than Canelo Alvarez, okay? Jamel Charlo is just as strong as Canelo Alvarez. Jamel Charlo is more athletic than Canelo Alvarez. So if Terence Crawford is going to go up and challenge Jamel Charlo, then Terence Crawford could challenge Canelo Alvarez, okay? Now, it's not up to me to say that he should go up and do so, but Jermell Charlo is 5'11" with a 73-inch arm reach, okay? Canelo Alvarez is 5'8" with a 69-inch arm reach, and he's really 5'7". So he's taller than Canelo Alvarez and a longer reach than Canelo Alvarez, okay? So if he was going to go up and challenge Jermell Charlo, well, he can go up and challenge Canelo Alvarez. But like Terence Crawford said, Canelo Alvarez is flip-flopping between 168 and 175. Now we know Canelo Alvarez, he's going into an undisputed showdown in September. It looks like the target date is September 18th against undefeated IBF super middleweight world champion superstar boxer Caleb Sweethand Plant. That looks like it's going to take place September 18th. That's for undisputed. And then there's talk that Canelo Alvarez could possibly look to go to light heavyweight, back up to light heavyweight. He defeated Sergey Kovalev for his WBO title to become a 4-division world champion. But there's talks that he could go back up there and challenge Artur Beterbiev, Dimitri Bivol, and look to become undisputed in 2 different weight classes should he beat Caleb Plant. Now we know undefeated 2-time super middleweight world champion Mexican superstar boxer David Benavidez, he's campaigning for an opportunity to face Canelo Alvarez as well, because his WBC title was stripped from him on the scales. He never lost it in the ring, and he's saying that Canelo Alvarez never gave him the opportunity when he had the belt to fight him, and now he's saying that Canelo Alvarez has been avoiding him. So maybe Canelo Alvarez, he gives David Benavidez the opportunity at a world title or at undisputed title, one more fight at 168 before he goes to 75. So he is fighting at higher weight classes. That is 2 weight classes above. That's 3 weight classes above Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford fights at 147. Canelo Alvarez is now campaigning at 68. So that's 54, 60, and then 68. So that's 3 weight classes above Terence Crawford. But just physically, Terence Crawford can match up with Canelo Alvarez, okay? Because we know when Canelo Alvarez faced Floyd Mayweather, he was weighing about 168 that night, okay? He was clearly nearly 20 pounds heavier than Floyd Mayweather the night of their fight with no rehydration clause. Now, they had a catch weight of 152, but he clearly rehydrated above 165. So he was nearly 168 that night. So it would be comparisons to Floyd Mayweather fighting Canelo Alvarez when he weighed 168. I do think that the versatility, the skill set, the high ring IQ, and the athletic ability and the power in both hands, even though Canelo Alvarez would be outweighing Terence Crawford, I believe Terence Crawford can win that fight. So that leads me to believe that the guy that will take on the challenge of beating him also is very versatile and is very skilled, and that's undefeated, unified WBC, IBF, welterweight world champion, superstar boxer who is widely considered to be top 3 pound-for-pound fighters in the world, in Errol the Truth Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr. has the style as well to beat Terence Crawford. To beat Canelo Alvarez at 5'9" with a 72-inch arm reach. He's very slick. He doesn't have the versatility that Terence Crawford has as far as switching from orthodox to southpaw. He does have, the ability. He's flea-footed. He's southpaw. He has power in both hands. Yeah, he's very strong. And he's versatile. He could box on the outside. He could box on the inside. He's slick. So he does have the skill set to offset and beat Canelo Alvarez as well. And he's shown interest in possibly going up to 154, maybe even 160 to challenge Canelo Alvarez. But as far as Errol Spence going to 168, I don't know about that. Maybe Canelo Alvarez has to come down to a catch weight for Terence Crawford or Errol Spence at 160. Canelo Alvarez did express interest in facing Errol Spence at 160, seeing as though he just fought at Arlington Stadium and Dallas Cowboys Stadium, AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, and that's Errol Spence's backyard in Texas, and it did 73,000 fans in attendance. So that would be huge for Canelo Alvarez to face Errol Spence in at AT&T Stadium and Cowboy Stadium. So that would be enormous. That would be massive. But is Canelo Alvarez willing to come back down to 160? That's the question that everybody is going to ask, okay? Or is he just going to look to move up, and campaign in light heavyweight and look to, become undisputed in 2 separate weight classes? But as far as Terence Crawford goes, he says that he never sees the fight with Canelo Alvarez coming to fruition because he's just simply too big and fighting at too high of a weight class. And Terence Crawford at 33 years of age does not plan on venturing up that high in weight classes. So we got to see how this unfolds and plays out. I personally think that he has the skill set to do so, but if he don't believe he could do so, who am I to tell him otherwise? My thing is, if he can go up and fight Jamel Charlo, who's actually physically bigger than Canelo Alvarez, then he could take on Canelo Alvarez as well. So let's see how this plays out and unfolds. Make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment in the comment section, let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Wow.